Today I'm going to give you an overview of DxEnterprise, which gives your SQL Server environment easy, high availability, disaster recovery, and consolidation, regardless of your infrastructure. It allows you to spend less and get more, and often pays for itself at acquisition. This webcast will tell you a little bit about how DxEnterprise works and give you an overview of its benefits. But first, let's take a look at an example SQL Server environment before DxEnterprise. It might look something like yours. Your host may be all physical, all virtual, or a mix, which we've shown here. You can even have a mix of different hypervisor vendors. Your host could be running a number of different OS versions. For SQL Server, your instances might be a mix of different versions or editions, and you may be doing some limited stacking of instances, with 2 or 3 instances on a given host. Microsoft allows you to stack up to 50 instances on a host without any additional licensing, but most people don't do very dense stacking. It could be out of fear of resource contention issues or due to concerns about what would happen if a host went down. Overall, this environment has several different operational models to manage and many different versions and patch levels of SQL Server and OS. DxEnterprise changes all of this. It is a lightweight software layer that you can quickly install on any host. It could be physical or virtual and from any vendor. DxEnterprise is infrastructure agnostic. Any host can be part of the utility. Once DxEnterprise is installed, you can quickly move all of your existing workload into the utility, resulting in many leftover licenses for future projects. This is what your environment might look like with DxEnterprise. DxEnterprise gives your environment SQL Server instance mobility. Instance mobility lets you quickly rehost any SQL Server instance from any host to any host with just an application stop and restart. DxEnterprise achieves this with an extremely lightweight, agile container technology that intelligently decouples SQL Server instances from any physical, virtual, or cloud servers. This decoupling provides a mobile yet consistent application connection endpoint regardless of where a particular instance is running. Persistent disk resources are attached to the container so that the data and logs are always presented to wherever the instance is running. All instances are standalone, with their binaries and executables installed wherever you want to be able to run a given instance. The result is that any instance can shut down and restart on any other host or move between hosts in 5 to 30 seconds. This provides the lightest weight mobility possible with no machine boot time associated with moving an instance. This is how instance mobility works. So why does it matter? There are a number of benefits of the DxEnterprise solution. The benefits include consolidated infrastructure, monitoring, high availability, SLA framework, improved productivity, and disaster recovery. The first benefit of DxEnterprise is consolidated infrastructure. This reduces your spend on servers, storage, and software licenses. DxEnterprise allows for the ability to confidently stack many SQL Server instances to higher levels of efficiency on a given host, since instances can be load balanced via rehosting in 5 to 30 seconds. DxEnterprise makes onboarding easy. Any existing workload can easily be put under DxEnterprise management and be quickly made portable. This low-risk stacking reduces the amount of servers and software licenses you need to buy and frees up existing software licenses for future projects. The second benefit of DxEnterprise is the ability to do health and performance monitoring and alerting with reactive and proactive automation. Proactively, the utility will enforce quality of service and keep SLAs in compliance. Reactively, it will also do health-based alerting, taking certain actions when a threshold is exceeded. Another benefit to DxEnterprise is high availability. DxEnterprise provides protection for infrastructure, OS, and application faults. DxEnterprise actively monitors application availability and will take automated action to ensure it. This failover automation is simple and quick with minimal impact. Let's say we have an issue on Node 3. It could be a system issue or perhaps a hardware issue. DxEnterprise will automatically take proactive action and move the workloads running on Node 3 and rehost those workloads to other nodes. the individual workloads will rehost according to predefined failover target ordering or automatically load balance across the other healthy nodes. The next benefit to the DxEnterprise solution is it provides application performance assurance. An SLA framework with proactive policy-based automation guarantees quality of service. DxEnterprise lets you prioritize your instances and bind them to a set quality of service level. So, should an instance exceed its SLA, it will take proactive action to move somewhere that it will ensure its SLA compliance. If there's an SLA violation, the system can also move lower priority instances to protect a higher priority instance from movement and keep all SLAs in compliance. For example, this SQL Server instance is not meeting its performance SLA. So, DxEnterprise will determine if it can be hosted on its pre-coordinated failover target. In this case, it was not able to meet its quality of service there either, so it will move on to the next priority node that the system knows can keep all instances and nodes within their SLA requirements. Another benefit of DxEnterprise is improved productivity. One way DxEnterprise improves productivity is it gives you the ability to patch instances with ease. For example, this particular instance is being patched on the non-active nodes for that instance. Then, during your outage window, you can simply stop and start the instance onto the updated node. Productivity is also improved with the ability to do easy tech refresh by moving the instances off the server to be replaced, removing that host, and then adding in the new server. You would then apply the SQL Server instance templates that you want to be able to run on the new host, and then you can simply drag and drop the instances back onto it. If for any reason there's an issue, any one of the other nodes is a known good failback target. This makes tech refresh a risk-free and drag-and-drop exercise. DxEnterprise also makes it easy to do disaster recovery. It lets you do multi-subnet clustering for all versions and editions of SQL Server 2005 and newer, and 2008 R2 or newer Windows Server OS. Once you have storage-based replication copying data between your local and remote sites, you can set up your disaster recovery site as the last failover target. Your DR target could be located at another one of your facilities, or it could be through a third-party infrastructure provider. Either way, this gives your environment easy automated DR. Should there ever be a problem with the local site, instances will fail over to the remote site within seconds. You can even tie conditional dependencies and services to the workflow within the tool for fully automated end-to-end disaster recovery playbook automation. So, what is the outcome of the DxEnterprise SQL Server utility? The first is the most efficient consolidation possible with the least SQL Server licensing costs. After the consolidation, you will likely have a number of licenses left over to satisfy your next few years of SQL Server licensing requirements. You also get high availability at the instance level for all of your SQL Server instances. You get an SLA framework to preserve quality of service for every instance. Your productivity is improved with simplified patching and tech refresh. And your environment can have easy, automated site-to-site disaster recovery with full dependency coordination. With DxEnterprise, you can now manage all of your SQL Server instances under a single operational model, regardless of SQL Server version or edition, infrastructure, or OS version. Would you like to try DxEnterprise for yourself? Sign up for a free trial of the software and test it out in your environment or in our remote lab.